When you look at this picture, what do you see? A summer camp? A daycare? Maybe a cultural exchange program? When you look at this picture, do you see a family? When I was 11 months old, I was given a new chance at life. No longer would I stay in an orphanage, but live on the other side of the world with the most wonderful people, handed opportunities that I wouldn't be able to have, and live in a spacious home with a caring family. When my parents adopted me, my sisters, and my brother, they were faced with situations they did not predict. Because our family looked different from other families, ignorant strangers felt entitled to ask questions they would not normally ask other people. These questions wouldn't be asked if I were the same ethnicity as my parents, but I'm not. Today, I will talk about why someone like yourself may want to think twice before asking a multi-ethnic family personal questions. One should realize a family is a family no matter what they look like. Soon after I came home from China, my parents realized they would be confronted in bathrooms, restaurants, airports, and other public places and asked intrusive questions about our family. Questions like, "How much did she cost?" Which my mother would reply, "You cannot buy children, but there are adoption expenses involved." Before I was old enough to understand, and before I had siblings, these questions were easier to answer. But as our family grew, so did the kinds of questions we were asked. And as we grew, so did our ability to understand what those questions meant. The questions meant we are different. People felt entitled to ask if we were real sisters. My mother would respond, "All adopted sisters are real sisters." But the stranger would persist and ask, "Yes, but are they real sisters?" Which my mother would reply, "All adopted sisters are real sisters." Sometimes the answer satisfied the stranger, but in other cases, the asker would continue to ask the question. This put my mother, myself, and my sisters in a very uncomfortable situation because we were old enough to understand that for some reason, this person did not believe we were real sisters. I doubt these people meant our family any harm. They were merely curious. I also doubt these people would feel comfortable walking up to a random family who shared the same ethnicity and asking these same types of questions. The message was loud and clear. Our family was unusual, and maybe not in a good way. Now, multi-ethnic families are more common than they used to be. But still, the questions keep rolling in, and now we are teenagers. We begin to notice people staring at us, and we cringe as they approach us to ask these questions. We want to be able to be a family in public without having to be a spectacle. I realize multi-ethnic families are different from most people's expectations, and we cannot expect to be invisible. I also realize questions come from curiosity and not from a wish to cause harm. Still, our family doesn't always enjoy answering a lot of questions. Sometimes we're in a hurry. Sometimes we're in a bad mood. Sometimes we just want to enjoy our meal at a restaurant without having to give a lecture on multiculturalism. While I can't speak for all multi-ethnic families, here are some suggestions on how to be curious without being rude. If you see a family that doesn't meet your expectations, say something like, "You have a beautiful family," or "Your children are beautiful." Try not to stare, because we notice, believe me. If you feel the need to acknowledge us, say something like, "You have a beautiful family," or "Your children are beautiful. Where did they come from originally?" If you have questions about adoption, let us know up front that you're interested in international adoption. But realize we are not there to give a seminar on adoption. We are there to enjoy our family time together. One should realize a family is a family no matter what they look like. Don't be afraid to approach us, but make sure the questions you ask are questions you would want to answer yourself. And please, make sure the questions you ask are asked with good intention and common sense. Families are formed in many ways, so when you see us next, remember, yes, the children are from China, and yes, we are a real family, and we are just like you. Thank you.